Joining us right now is none other than DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you so much for taking the time, man.
Pleasure. Thank y'all guys for having me on the show, man.
Of course. Now, you have a new quarterback, something that's not new to you. I think you've played with about 7,000 quarterbacks, but have you been able to talk to Kyler Murray? Have you been able to work out with him? Have you been able to start to build a relationship with Kyler Murray?
Oh, yeah, we have, Kyler, he's a great guy, outside of football. He definitely knows a lot of football. And Kyler and I, obviously during quarantine, not a lot of people have been able to meet up, but we've definitely been talking, communicating, talking football, and, we plan on getting together pretty soon along with the other receivers.
I'm a huge fan of Kyler. He had a great year last season. And I got a chance to spend some time with your new coach, Cliff Kingsbury. How do you see yourself fitting into his new offense?
I see myself fitting very well. It's, I'm a receiver, so those guys pass the ball a lot. And as a receiver, that's what I love, to be able to get the ball in my hand and help my team win. I think it's a very dynamic offense, obviously, coming from where he's come from in the game. Kind of transcending to a passing league. You see the Chiefs last year and what they was able to do, and having a great quarterback definitely helps. But I see myself fitting in very well in that offense.
Well, I see huge production from you this season like we haven't seen before, and you've had some of the best seasons ever put on wax. Do you see yourself sort of production-wise, numbers-wise, really blowing up this season?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I play with a lot of quarterbacks and put up great numbers, and, been in offenses that necessarily wasn't the pass first offense. So, myself, being a receiver, of course, I see my stats going up. We have other great receivers out there, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald, and a lot of other guys out there. But, I definitely see, myself having one of my more productive seasons.
And, of course, we all know Deshaun Watson because he's fantastic, your brother from Clemson. But as Jacoby mentioned, you played with so many quarterbacks with the Texans. Could you possibly name each one that you caught a pass from?
Let me try. All right. My rookie year, started off with Matt Schaub.
Well, what happened was, you know what I'm saying? He loves y'all. He appreciates you. It's hard out here in these streets.
It's hard, man. How do you got 10 or 15?
How does it feel now, sort of, coming from a place where they did sort of have a certainty at that position recently with Deshaun Watson, of course, but how does it feel now coming into a place where they have their draft pick, they have their quarterback in place for the unforeseeable future? How does that change your approach as a wide receiver?
It definitely helps me prepare for my season, more so than, going into a season, not certain, who's your quarterback going to be. Obviously, I had Deshaun for, a couple seasons, so, he was obviously a franchise quarterback, very respectfully so. But going into this situation with a young quarterback that I know is going to be my quarterback, for the future is great. We're able to build a chemistry, and hopefully I'm able to, play more than, 3 seasons with a quarterback, and I don't think I've done that yet. So, I'm excited, man, just to see, me be able to play with a consistent quarterback.
And not only are you elite out on the field, but I always appreciated the fact that you were socially and politically conscious. And right now you're rocking with the dope cap jersey. I'm pretty sure you understand about the horrific scenario that are taking place in Minnesota right now and the police brutality that continues. What are your thoughts on that scenario and the role of athletes to be socially and politically conscious and use their voice?
I think obviously Muhammad Ali and other athletes, set the bar high for us. I would say in our time right now, LeBron James is definitely one of those athletes that, can move the needle. But guys like myself, we still have a voice. We still have an opinion, and people still listen to us. So I think it's crucial for us right now as athletes to voice our opinion, but, be politically correct about the things that we talk about and know. Obviously, we live in a world where, a lot of crime is going on, not just, out there, but, in the Black community as well. So I think it starts with ourselves, and coming together as a community and, fighting our own battles, to where we can overcome that to see that, we have to be together as one.
Well, on behalf of us, I really appreciate, and we all really appreciate you using your voice and your platform to fight social injustice, something that's very important right now. But I'm going to take you a little bit in the past. What happened between you and Bill O'Brien?
Man, he's a competitive guy. I'm a competitive guy. We both want to win football games. So that's all. I'm not going to speak on that too much. My time at the Texans, obviously I didn't win a Super Bowl, and the kind of player I am, it's really Super Bowl or nothing for me, man. I really don't, I don't get too high on anything other than that, so I wasn't able to accomplish that there with the Texans. I feel like I did all I could do, but unfortunately, I'm not there, but I'm with a great team, a great organization, that, hopefully I can help win that championship, and help the Cardinals get to where they want to get to. But, I had a great time with the Texans, had a lot of great players that, I played with that I'm still friends with to this day, and will continue to be after football. So my time in Houston was great. It's football, it's business that goes along with that as well. So there's no hard feelings for me. I've been through much worse situations in life, than going to a great organization. So it's a blessing for myself and for my family. It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. And anybody that's followed your career understand that not only have you mastered the game of life with some of the personal things that you've dealt with in your family, but the score of the game being one of the more elite players in the league. So how did you feel once you got moved? He came out and tried to justify what many believe is one of the worst moves in the history of football, is that he did it because you had 3 years left on your deal and you wanted some more bread.
Well, I haven't spoken on that too much. Obviously, that's my agent, and them, but I just wanted, to be compensated for what I was worth. Obviously, I was making little or nothing, compared to where my play was. So, it's a business, and they felt like they made the right moves, and I wish Deshaun the best. He's one of my best friends. Not just on the football field, but out the field. So, I wish him the best.
Well, I wish Deshaun the best as well, but me and Jalen have a theory. Deshaun is not long for the Texans. That's what we have a theory. I know you won't say it, but I was going to say it out loud. We have a theory. Deshaun Watson is not long for the Texans. I know you won't say it, but I will say it. But you did mention that, I'm going to ask you, how do you think you leaving the Texans will impact Deshaun's relationship with the Texans? You say he's one of your best friends.
Man, Deshaun's a warrior. Deshaun's a competitor. As long as he has a football in his hand, that's all he cares about. I know that personally from him, from knowing him over the years. And, man, Deshaun's an elite quarterback, one of the best quarterback I've had a chance to play with so far. And he's able to make players better. And I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to do. He's going to rally his team up to help them win. That's my boy. I wish him nothing but the best. I'm in the NFC, so I hope I see him in a Super Bowl. But obviously, his best target, a guy that he can depend on not being there for him. I'm pretty sure that would impact any quarterback's game.
Well, I'll say in layman's terms what he can't say because he's a professional. Before Deshaun Watson signed an extension with them, Bill O'Brien going to have to leave or Deshaun going to bounce. Because that was just a terrible deal. You got two of the best people in the prime of their career and you make a deal like that. I'm just so upset to see that. Patrick Mahomes, they wouldn't move his great weapon. They wouldn't move Lamar Jackson's great weapon. It's just not a good move, Jacoby. And there's no way for him to justify that. None at all.
Well, listen, one thing it does give us, it gives us Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins in Arizona playing for the Cardinals. And in a tough division, I love the Cardinals this season. I love the Cardinals this season. DeAndre, thank you so much for taking the time. We wish you health and safety, and we look forward to seeing you back on the football field with Kyler and the Cardinals. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to Jalen Jacoby on ESPN television, but don't forget to subscribe to the Jalen Jacoby podcast. We always record exclusive content for the podcast, including this with DeAndre Hopkins. We have always celebrated you on this program, and I personally have you as the number one wide receiver in the NFL, not just right now, but for quite some time. And we all know about your time in Houston and the different quarterbacks you had with you. And recently, Michael Thomas has come out. He had a great year last year, put up some big numbers, and he said that he is the number one wide receiver in the NFL right now. Where do you see yourself stacking up against the Julios and the Odells and the Michael Thomases in the league?
I mean, I played against both of those guys last year. We beat the Falcons. Obviously, we lost to the Saints in the last, field goal towards the end of, regulation. I definitely think I'm the best. I know I'm the best. Mike, my boy, I love Mike. We was texting yesterday, but he know if I had Drew Brees my whole career.
All caps.
What these numbers would be. Julio Jones know if I had Matt Ryan my whole career. That's my boy. I train with Julio too. He know what these numbers would be. So, those guys are definitely blessed to be in a position where their whole career they had a Pro Bowl quarterback that they spent multiple seasons with. But I don't complain. I don't make excuses. I go out and work. And obviously, my team won the division championship. 5 out of 7 years since I was there. And I think every team in that division went out and tried to get a DB every draft to stop what was coming to them every year. But nothing against those guys. But I definitely made 3 All-Pro first teams also. So I'm not sure how many times that was done by those 2 guys.
Those are the numbers of the best receiver in the NFL, according to me, Jalen, and him. Want to thank him for coming through. And I want to tell you to stick around because Jalen and I will argue about how they should finish the NBA season. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. We want to thank DeAndre Hopkins for coming through and joining us. I also want to thank Dame Lillard for joining us yesterday. We were talking to Dame yesterday, and he convinced me. He was like, you know what? If you're within striking distance, we should have the chance to get in the playoffs. We should have an opportunity, whether a play-in game or a group stage or whatever. And he sold me on that. But, Jalen, I changed my mind. I really think it should just be 1 through 8 in the West and 1 through 8 in the East in the bubble. If we're serious about safety, that brings the least amount of people into the bubble. And we're 66, 67 games into the regular season. That's a lot of games. And if you're a team like the Trailblazers and you want a chance to compete for a championship, you had it 66 times already. Jalen, I know you don't agree. What do you think?
That's why you go to the Disney Resort, Jacoby. It could absorb 4 more teams of 15 players each and their families. They could give each one of them a hotel to quarantine if they need it. Let me tell you why. On those 4 teams, let me give you some names that play on those squads. Dame, Zion, John Wall. You want those names involved in trying to figure out, along with John Morant, who's going to be the last couple of teams in the playoffs. 20 total teams, whether 7-10 play in or whether it's 1-10 in each conference, involve 20 fan bases, 21 through 30. Thanks for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Do you know what you just reminded me of? We're going to get to see John Wall play NBA basketball again soon. I can't wait. It was this season and next season. I can't wait for John Wall to get back. All that is going to happen in Orlando. There's going to be so much working out in Orlando.
Not under your idea. If it was your idea, it wouldn't.
Do you know who's working out in Orlando right now? Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba has put on reportedly 28 pounds of muscle. I put on 28 pounds during the quarantine, but it's not muscle. Jalen, what do you think about Mo Bamba having 28 pounds of muscle added to his frame?
That'll help him get space for rebounding. He has the ability to be terrific in that aspect of the game based on his height and shot blocking. He needed to bulk up. Obviously, you're going to want him to make some jump shots in today's game because that's something that he can do because he has a soft touch. But I look Jalen, like Mike Tyson. You look like Tommy from Power.
This is the only time I've ever actually looked like Tommy from Power. People always say I do, but that was the only time I've actually looked like Tommy from Power. I want to thank DeAndre Hopkins for coming through. Make sure you listen to the podcast. We got a lot of content with him there.
Love you, bro.
And Don't forget, Dan Le Batard and Highly Questionable is next. Listen to that podcast. DeAndre Hopkins gave us some really good stuff.